What's going on, everybody? Andy Waddell with Form Films. Welcome back to Grade in 10. I'm super pumped about this episode because we get to grade one of those rare frames where we can do just about anything we want with color and nothing is really going to be wrong. So let's get started. All right, here is the frame we're going to work on today. As you can see, there is a lot happening on the color chain. And the first thing I'm going to do is pop this into YRGB Color Manage to get myself to a great starting point. Boom. And then we're going to enable all of color. Skadoosh. That's where we're going today, people. Let's make it happen. All right. I'm going to kill everything in the pipeline. This is a really fun project, by the way. You should definitely go to our website and check it out at formfilms.com. It's an intentionally busy frame. We wanted this girl to be in her basement, laboratory, clubhouse, just surrounded by just gobs of stuff and color and fun. So it's really, really a neat project. I think you'd enjoy going through it. Okay, so I'm going to start with some denoising just to take care of any tiny little noise issues in the Red Gemini 5K footage. And then we're going to move on to exposure. Let's see here. Okay, I'm watching my highlights. I've got some super bright spots, of course, with light bulbs and this glowing quasar tube over here. But we're just going to play with getting generally the scene a little bit brighter overall. Somewhere in there feels pretty good. I'm going to be careful not to blow out all of the blues on that left wall. But we'll come back and isolate it and play with it some more in a few minutes. All right, let's jump to primaries. Let's grab our offset wheel down here, and I'm just going to roll this a little bit to kind of clean up the white balance since there is so much color play happening. I'm watching the whites on my monitor, but I'm also watching the scopes right here. I'm looking right here, this little curve and this right here, and I'm kind of equalizing those points right there. And I think what that's doing is kind of bringing out the more true white nature of the image. If I toggle this off and on, definitely helps. I might pull a little bit of the green out, so I'm going to move my offset up a little bit. Toggle it off and on. Yeah, there's just so much purple and blue happening, but I want to separate it out, get a little more clarity. Let's do an adjustment node, and on this one, I'm just going to pull some of this red out of the low shadows. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I do this a lot. What that's doing, even on the brick wall behind her head, like right in here, you can see that it's really helping kind of isolate the shadows, get rid of some of that red. And I'm going to pull just a touch of green out, I think, as well. Yeah, I don't want, there was some kind of a green haze to this front edge of this desk. Want to get rid of that. So just some little touches on the curves. I'm a fan of the curves. All right, let's drop in a contrast node. Let's do something here and just play around a little bit. I like to push it up, pull it down a little in the shadows, just see what I'm experiencing. Looking at her hair, just want to keep some detail in her hair, so I might just do a little tweak down there in the low shadows. As with everything in color when you're working, just push it too far, pull it back. Push it beyond what's good, and then pull it back, and you'll find where it needs to land. Okay, I'm going to call this next node Talent Exposure. So she's, man, she's key lit from right here, frame right, but I want to make her pop just a touch more. So what I'm going to do is very judiciously, is that the word? Judiciously? I'm going to mask around her, being careful of the fall off. I definitely don't want to create a hot spot, but I want to bring her out just a touch more where she's sitting. Now I know that this is technically impacting that blue shirt behind her head, but I don't think it's going to matter because it's subtle. It's very subtle. I could even tighten this up a little bit. All right, let's make a couple of parallels. I want to just kind of play with her as our talent and break her down more specifically. Skin, shirt, jacket. All right. Starting with skin, she is absorbing all kinds of purpley blue nonsense from the set. So I'm going to play with the 3D qualifier here. See if I can isolate her skin tone, clean it up, and oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm just going to do a sample here, try to get a good sample. It's actually pretty darn good. Okay, let's see if we can clean out a bunch of stuff. That actually cleaned out quite nicely right there. This stuff right here, these paddles or oars, we'll just mask those in a second. So she's stationary in this shot. It's pretty easy to find and isolate her. And I don't mind if we get a little bit on the oars. It's not the end of the world. They're technically kind of her natural skin tone anyway. Okay, I'm going to open up my effects palette and grab color compressor. I'm going to sample somewhere on her cheek or chin where I can get kind of a nice sample of her skin that feels like what she actually looked like in real life. Then I'm going to crank. It's a little bit on the green side. This is a little bit trial and error, especially when you're working with, oops, I just totally messed it up because I can't talk and do things at the same time. It's going to be tricky because there's just so much happening, and I do not want this to feel at all like the purples around her. I really want to pop her skin off. Okay, let's start with that. And I'm going to basically play with compressing the hue a lot to unify it, and then even saturation a little more heavily than normal. I'm going to look at my vector scope. Still a little bit of variance happening, but I can see that I am on the skin tone line as opposed to wildly spread out. You can see over here, it's just like this huge spread. So that definitely helps to tighten it up. And then I can just offset and roll my offset a little bit. So let's unsolo that so we can see what's happening. Okay, let's audition this. Off, on, off, on. Yeah, look at what's happening, man. Her skin just pops right there. That's really good. Again, I can roll my offset right here on that node just a little bit if I need to. See if I can even punch her saturation up a touch. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to make her skin, just expose it up a little bit. Just on the high end, just a little bit. Wonder if I want to contrast her at all. Yeah, maybe not. Do that. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's come to the end of this real quick. I want to drop on the final node, which is going to be, in this case, sharpening. I'm going to go ahead and just add that so that I can kind of get that while I'm working. I love how her lips, if you notice I solo up skin again, I didn't grab her lips. So her lips have this nice reddish purpley color. Kind of feels like she's wearing some kind of lip gloss that matches her environment, adds to the character. Jumping to shirt. Let's grab 3D qualifier again on this node. Her shirt is just screaming red. I mean, it is just jamming hot. So we're going to dial that back a good bit. And I like the way it breaks in the scene, but I don't want it to be that prominent. So I'm going to just drop its saturation a little bit. So on or off, and then on, so you can see what it's doing there. Pull it back just a little bit too, so it doesn't draw your eye too much. Okay, jacket. Back to the 3D qualifier. Gonna grab a little lab coat. We're gonna get a lot of the table too, but that's fine. I kind of want to, honestly, because there is because it is a white table, so there is a natural inclination, you know, that it would kind of whiten up if we're gonna adjust the whites there, so that doesn't bother me. Inclination was not the word I was looking for, but it's the word that came out, so we're gonna go with that. We're just gonna go with that. I am gonna mask this because I don't really want to impact a bunch of other crap over there too much. Keep that kind of right there. Okay, so all I'm gonna do here is just desat to about 20. Just want to pull all the color, or most of the color out. And go back to my qualifier, make sure that I am blurring that enough. Okay. So let's audition that on and off, or off and on. So off. Let me get off the qualifier there. Okay, so that's off. Then we kick it on. Boom. Makes it really pop white. Now it's just, she as a whole is just screaming off this set now. So if I kill that, she's buried back in there. I mean, she's not bad. I mean, you can still see the key light, and she's still, you know, present, but boom. Now she's really popping out. Actually going to play with her skin tone. Not loving that particular hue. I might see if I can find. I'm going to actually pull sat back just a little bit from where I had it. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, actually, I should include that one too. So now there's her natural state in the frame. Boom. Here's where we took her. Okay, so sharpening's the last one. I'm going to start a new node after that, drag it down here. We're going to have a whole chain here of several things. So let's do something. Shelves left. Let's do something with these shelves over here. I'm going to draw. No, wait, hold on. I'm going to just do a square. Power window. Power windows. Wrote that myself. All right. I just kind of want to play with glow on this over here. So plenty of fall off and blend on the right and the bottom. And then I just want to come over here and play with pushing the color a little more. Like I said, there is not much we can do wrong here. So, and then I'm going to actually pull that down just a little bit, darken it out. Just really, I mean, not too far like that, but I want to pull back just to make those bricks a little more contrasty. Here we go. Kind of liking that. This is what I mean by there's nothing you can do wrong. I mean, this is purely subjective, but I'm just doing little touches just to make it pop. All right, let's leave that alone for a second. I'm going to come down to the end. Let's see. Okay, sharpening. I know I'm going to put a vignette on this. I know that I want to do a lab node, which will be in the lab color space for just a little effect at the end. And before that, glow all. I want a global glow, so to speak, on this scene. And then I'm going to dial it back to be very subtle and do some more specific glows on stuff like the lamps and the lavas. So let's just pop this on for a sec. That's not the right effect. Let's don't drop that on. Let's drop aperture diffusion on. Here we go. Okay, so there's no blend. There's 100%, none, 100%. I want to put it kind of in this mid-range. I like what's happening like on the wood here of the chalkboard when it's off versus when it's on. It just creates a little bit of like a haziness. Let's go about 60-something% on that. We'll stop there for now. Okay, jumping back to the line of the session, chalkboard. I want to do some work on the chalkboard. What I want to do is make it feel a little more spotlit than the practical or on-set lighting did. We did have a light right up here hitting it, but I want to just augment that. And then I also want to desat a little bit so it's a little different vibe here. Let's see what we can do. And I'm going to crunch it down a little bit. Oops. Grab everything. Contrast it a little more like that. Up a little bit like that. Grab my I don't want to take all of the color out, but I want to whiten it up just a little bit. I want to tighten up this mask. So purely subjective what we do here. That's the beauty of this shot. You can just have fun with it. Okay, so turning that off and on. It's subtle, but I like that it's creating a little more of an ooh, I just had an idea. I was going to say intentional. I just had a really good idea. Okay, don't do that quite like that. I'm stopping myself. All right. This is the fun with grading while recording. Sometimes you just get other ideas, and we're going to go with it. Oops, come on. Let's have some fun contrasting the chalkboard as a whole. Okay, there we go. I like that. Off, on. Yeah, that's better. That's what I want to do. I changed my mind halfway. When I graded this yesterday, I was doing something a little different, but right now, I actually like doing this better. So if I audition that off, it's a little less pronounced. Now it's a little more pronounced, a little sharper. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me just change up on the fly. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's go to our bulb. On her right, frame left right here, I want to drop a flare on that. All right, and benefits. I'm going to put that right down there, and we're going to play with just a couple of different settings. I'm going to probably go with kind of like that 70s with a little bit of glare in it. I'm going to give it just enough scale that it kind of eclipses the cage it's in. And then I want to make sure that it is a kind of yellowy light. So we're going to grab that yellow, That way it feels like it's playing off the actual bulb. So if I toggle that on and off, you can see it just adds a little zest. Okay, globe. Okay, we have this electron globy thingy. I want to put a little bit of love on that. Make it feel cooler than it really is. Let's see. Go modern sci-fi. Ooh, kind of like that. All right, that's way over the top. So let's definitely do that. And then we'll move our reflection or our refraction out of here. Use it to bring attention to the bounty name or something. Let's see. I'm going to round it up a little bit. Don't want this on the lava lamp because I want to do something else on the lava lamp. I'll put it down here like it's just slightly out of frame. We don't really know where it would land, so we'll do that. And we're going to make it a little purpley blue. Cool. Okay, let's add a lava glow. Never use 3 lens flares on any shot, but we're doing it today, baby. All right, let's make this not late afternoon. I keep hitting that. This fire, here we go. Yeah, let's go with that. We'll scale it down. Just want it to feel like it's about to explode from within. So just playing with the settings. Okay, so if I kill all of my happy, awesome bulbs, there they are. And if I bring them all back, skaboosh. Super fun, super fun. Okay, so we have our glow all, which is adding just a little bit of a glow across the entire image. You can see it there. And lab, now I am going to drop my shadows a little bit. And as I roll these off, it's going to tighten up the reds down in the shadows. It's going to cool off the bottom end of the image. Let's put it about negative 7.25. If I audition that off and on, you can see the difference that makes. I'm going to jump way back here to contrast. I'm actually going to pull down what I had lifted a little bit there. And I kind of play with this a second. Yeah. Just a little bit of love. I don't normally work all the way back, and then of course that's going to echo through everything else, but I wanted to play with that just a little bit more. Again, this shot has so much going on. You could grade it 10 times in a row and it'd turn out different every single time. So let me zoom out on this a second. So we're going to go with the advanced. I want to move this over so that it's favoring toward her, but I don't want to cut off my lamp over here. Let's see. If I roll that up to, and I'm going to lift it a little so that it just kind of minimizes your eyes, draw to the bottom of the frame. I want to push your eye toward her. So by lifting this vignette up a little, it just darkens the bottom of that a little more. I like all this headroom. Headroom's intentional to see all the equations and the fun things. So that's totally intentional. Then I'm going to soften it out about 85%. Okay, so that's feeling pretty zesty. Let's walk it through and look at everything. So I'll leave denoise on. So this is our raw image. Now we're going to expose it up, roll the primaries fairly significantly just to kind of pull back kind of our true white. You can see like this orange shirt is purpley orange. Now it's a little more orange, normal orange. This white light hitting the chalkboard. It feels actually a little bit green there, but we pull a little green out right there. We're going to contrast, which, a little bit like our exposure, but we're doing different stuff, so we'll let it ride. Talent exposure. Going to pop our talent. And then we are going to pop her her skin tone. Going to pop that up to be a little more true to her actual skin tone. I don't mind too bad that there's this purple right here on her cheek. It definitely helps seat her in the scene. If I really wanted to, I could go in and just draw that in. But it doesn't bother me too bad. Now we're gonna take her shirt down a notch, just a little too sharp red, and then we're gonna desat her jacket. Boom. Heck, while we're at it, I might even pull the exposure up a tad on her jacket and contrast it a little bit. Boom. Okay, that's super subtle. Now down here to the shelves on the left. All I'm doing is a very subtle mask, right? We're just masking it, and then we're just contrasting a little bit, making it feel a little deeper and richer. Chalkboard, same, increasing the vibe of this spotlight by just contrasting and bringing that, a little bit tighter right there. Now, bulb number 1, kapow, a little bit of, I guess I need to enable my all glow. Okay, all glow, boom. Whole thing feels a little bit dreamy. Now my bulb pops, my globe pops, my lava lamp is popping. Finally, lab to tighten up the bottom end, pull some of the reds out of the low ends and the shadows. And then my vignette to push my eye inward and upward. And I'm going to actually make that a little bigger. Oh, I just broke it. That's awesome. Go back to the top. See all the fun things that move in this shot? Really fun. Tons of energy and kinetic stuff happening. So I'm actually going to blend this a little bit. I don't want to do quite so much vignette. Just enough to push my eye toward her. She really sings now. And then sharpening. Tightens it up, makes her eyes pop. Loving the vibe right here. Yeah, this feels really good. So, I think we are done. All right. Hey, thanks for sticking with me through this one. I know it's a little bit of a weird one. There's really no rights, no wrongs. It's subjective. I'm moving fast. I'm talking while I'm doing it. Sometimes you change your mind and go back and do something different. But I'm really excited about how this turned out. I think it's super fun frame. Maybe on another episode, I'll do the close shot. Close shot was neat. It was kind of framed in more like right in here. Maybe we'll do that one on a future episode. So until then, please give us some follows, subscribes, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Grade in 10. Thanks.